Good afternoon, everybody. This is your host for Tiffany's Community Spotlight at Home, Tiffany DuBois-Morales. With me today is amazing Indian chef Chetna Macwan.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
My pleasure. My pleasure. All right, so for my various followers, tell me a little bit about how you got into cooking and, your background.
Sure. So my name is Chetna Macwan, and I am North Indian. And a lot of people don't know, but I was actually born in Africa, in Kenya.
Wow.
So it's funny to say I've never been to India, even though we speak Indian, we cook Indian. Culturally, everything is the same at our house.
Wow.
Um, so I learned how to cook from my mom. She was probably one of the best cooks, in my opinion. And she taught me all the basics of Indian spices, Indian
Mm-hmm.
vegetables. And she was vegetarian. And I thought
Right.
was pretty funny was she probably made the best chicken curry for being vegetarian.
Man.
So she taught me all the basics as well. So I always had a passion for cooking,
Okay.
and I'd always wanted to be a chef. But life just took me down a different path, and I studied network engineering after college.
Wow.
I
Okay.
worked in the financial district. I worked at Goldman Sachs for a few years. I traveled for
Man.
work. And then I just decided if I don't do this, I'm going to regret it. And so after getting married, I uh, love to cook as well. I cook for my family and everyone as well. And then I was talking to my husband one day and I said, I really wanted to be able to teach everyone about Indian cooking. And
Hmm.
so he suggested, like, why don't you just have a couple classes in the house? And so that's exactly what I did. I just invited a couple neighbors that enjoyed butter chicken or palak paneer, a couple other dishes. And I said, all right, I'm just going to teach everybody what my family had taught me. So from there, it just blew up in a good way. My neighbors took my recipes, they introduced them to their family, their friends. Eventually, a couple of my friends sent my recipes over to some restaurant friends that they knew.
Oh,
And then from there, I was
nice.
invited to different restaurants to talk about Indian spices and Indian cuisine. And I was able to do a couple demos more at my house. And I really loved it. I think for me, it was
Mm-hmm.
more about bringing people together into my kitchen
Mm-hmm.
and teaching them a piece of my culture. And so I thought to myself, I feel like I can do this as a career. I loved it. And so that's where it just came from. I said, all right, you know what? I am going to do cooking classes and just become a full on Indian chef. And so
That's awesome. So you didn't go to
I
culinary
didn't. I
school.
didn't. I learned everything from my family. And then
Wow.
obviously, once I decided to take this from a professional standpoint, I started doing more research, practicing at home. YouTube is a wonderful resource.
Yeah, no,
And then just
definitely.
connecting myself, I think, with other chefs and learning how to improve my own skill was really helpful.
Right.
And then I had the
Hmm.
opportunity to actually teach some adult classes in culinary schools. So then I
Wow.
was able to help them and they were able to teach me their way of things. So it was a really great, like, symbiotic relationship.
That's
And then here
awesome.
I am now. I mean, doing what I love. It's been about almost close to 10 years now.
Happy
Thank
anniversary.
you. Thank
That's
you. And I'm
awesome.
doing what, I tell everybody I'm not lucky. I feel blessed because I'm doing something I really am passionate about.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah, for me, I also learned a lot about Greek cooking because for those of you that do know me, you know that I'm half Greek on my mother's side. So I grew up eating a lot, well, a decent amount of Greek food,
Okay.
but like I never really got interested in like Greek cuisine until I moved to Pittsburgh, and then I just kind of slowly started learning the recipes that I grew up having. And my husband, he's awesome. He
Mm-hmm.
loves everything that I cook. So, featuring Greek cuisine, featuring French, Italian, Indian cuisine. Like, there's nothing that can't be made or incorporated into your diet so simply as like just having a couple of ingredients.
Right, I
So,
agree. It's
yeah.
just to be able to create something completely different depending on who's making it,
Yeah,
right?
no, absolutely. So, yeah. But tell everybody what we're going to be making
Sure.
today.
This is probably a few of my favorite dishes. We're going to be making methi chicken, which is
Right.
methi means fenugreek, which is a dry spice, almost like a cross between, I would say, like a cilantro and dill.
Yeah.
So we're going to be making methi chicken, fenugreek chicken. We're going to be making a
Awesome.
stuffed okra dish, which is a family favorite growing up. And it's
Man.
okra, long cut, and then we stuff it
Yep.
with tomato and onion. We're going to be making some basmati rice,
Awesome.
enjoying it with garlic naan. And then at the very end, of course, every meal has to end with masala chai.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's going to
Yeah.
be a feast.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I have 3 pounds of, boneless, skinless chicken thighs, plenty of onions, half a dozen plum tomatoes, and like all
Right.
pretty much like a stockpile of all of the
We'll
spices.
have enough to
I
feed the entire neighborhood by the
oh
time
oh
we're
yeah.
done.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. There's nothing better than just having a lot of food just so that you can like have leftovers. And
Absolutely.
as everybody knows, the longer everything sits, the better it
Oh, it
tastes.
marinates. And
Yeah.
this will be fun because it's not the traditional butter chicken. And that's something I
Right.
wanted to cook with you is show you a different way, a different type of chicken curry.
Oh yeah, no,
So this will be a great
definitely.
experience.
Yeah. Plus, I have the serrano hot peppers because
Of
I like a
course, you
good
need heat.
amount.
Of course.
Exactly. I mean, people do have their preferences in terms of spice tolerance. In my household,
You
we
like it
I
spicy?
like it spicy. So yeah,
Perfect.
this is gonna be a lot of fun. Yeah. But man, so you didn't go to culinary
I
school.
didn't. I didn't. And I know some people have their own thoughts about that, if it's good or not. But you know what? I feel like it's very important. If you have an opportunity to
Mm-hmm.
go to culinary school, by all means, go. I did not
Yeah.
have that opportunity.
Hmm. Where'd you
So
go now?
I learned I would, it's different because I've learned so much working with different schools, different ways of cooking with other chefs as well. So I've
Okay.
been able to learn a lot, um,
Yeah.
and just practice. I'm always cooking as well. So yeah, I mean, if there was an opportunity, I think it would be great. But I also feel that I'm able to bring a different perspective in there because I didn't go to culinary school. I'm not ashamed of that. But I am
Hmm.
able to cook the way that my family has taught me. And that's what
Yeah.
I try to do during my classes, during my demos, anytime I'm invited anywhere, is just cook the way that
Hmm.
my family has taught me. And for me, it's more just showing everybody about something that I really enjoy, I love, and, I'm proud of my Indian culture and my heritage and my cuisine. And especially
Hmm.
because I was born in Africa. It's funny because there's a lot of African influences in my food just
Okay.
because
Yeah.
of the way that my family used to cook. Um, and I know African food has a lot of Indian influence
Yeah,
in
no,
it
I,
as
I
well.
would I would definitely agree. On my father's side, I'm part Nigerian and Malian, Western Bantu peoples,
Hmm.
and like a lot of the spices that I've been encountering in
Hmm.
terms of like Nigerian or just West African are definitely very similar, I would say, to certain Indian
Right.
spices like garam masala, delicious,
Hmm.
but that gets incorporated not only in Indian cuisine but also in Moroccan
Right.
cuisine.
Cumin,
Cumin,
coriander.
coriander,
Exactly.
various paprikas, some chili powders, anything that has, you know, there's one spice that I have in my cabinet. It's bear spice.
Okay.
Oh, it's delicious.
Hmm.
But it's, you know, something that I had picked, well, that we had picked up when we were in Seattle, ironically
Okay.
enough. Yeah. There was a beautiful little spice shop out in like the in Seattle, like downtown Seattle proper, like where you go for I forget where you go for that Starbucks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, over like there's a whole bunch of like stores and restaurants, and there and in there was like an Indian and Mediterranean and like
The spice market.
spice shop, and
Okay.
it was
Hmm.
delicious. You know, I like incorporating a lot of different spice blends with our cooking. Yeah, I'm definitely of the heavy-handed
Right.
on
Ingredients and all that.
ingredients and mixing in the spices and everything, and incorporating things you may not necessarily think to add, like cinnamon or nutmeg, to
Different dishes and
different
all
different
that.
yeah, definitely different dishes.
So it
Yeah.
sounds like Greek food and Indian food are very similar in the sense
Yeah.
that we use a lot of garlic.
Oh yeah, no,
We use
definitely.
ginger, but lots of fresh herbs as well.
Yeah. Oh
Um,
yeah, absolutely.
I think it just the more flavor, the better, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, we like to use like a lot. I mean, we try to keep things nice and
right?
simple. Like we have there's a eggplant dish that we will that I'll like once in a while I'll go and make but it yeah, I'm blanking on the name of it, but it's an eggplant dip.
Okay.
It incorporates, oh yeah, fresh eggplant, more garlic,
That
onions.
moussaka, or is that
Moussaka is
that's eggplant,
it,
right?
it can be.
Okay.
Traditionally, moussaka is eggplant. It has a meat tomato
Hmm.
base sauce, and then it is covered in bechamel, and then baked and served. Um, like nice and hot, and you always want to incorporate some kind of bread.
Okay.
um a lot of people like to incorporate pita bread, or like they'll go and make fresh homemade
Isn't it
bread.
amazing how like even though like I'm Indian and you're
Yeah.
talking about Greek food, like there's so many similarities, right?
Oh
Like you're
yeah, no,
saying pita, we
definitely.
would say naan. You have
Exactly. Yeah.
moussaka, we have a roasted eggplant dish as well
Yeah.
that we would make as a curry. I think it
Awesome.
just like it's so
Yeah.
that's what I love about cooking in general is that everything is so unified in a
Yeah,
certain
no,
way. There's a beauty
definitely.
to it.
Yeah.
That's what gives me excited.
Um, Everybody, thank you all so much for joining me at Tiffany's Community Spotlight at Home. Thank you so much, Chef
My
Chetna,
pleasure. I
for
love talking to
coming.
you.
And I look forward to seeing you all again on Tiffany's Community Spotlight at Home. Bye.
Bye.